So technical, so professional. Hello and welcome to episode 11 of that Roll Kids podcast. My name is Kelly, also known as Roll Kids, and I'm a knitting designer in the northeast of England. Welcome. If you are a returning viewer, then thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new, then a massive welcome. And yeah, I've got a few new guys have come over. The really lovely, thoughtful knitter had put up a gratitude podcast a couple of days ago, just thanking people who had mentioned her in their podcast or on other things, and she had thanked me on there because I'd mentioned her in my last episode, and as a result I've had like 50 new subscribers, so thank you so much to her. Like, the gratitude is sent back because that's so kind of her, and welcome to everybody new. It's really lovely to have you here, and I'm getting really close to 1,000, which is scary but also amazing. So thank you to everybody who's pressed that button. I really appreciate it so much. It is really dark today, and I'm really hoping that this is going to work, and I keep saying really all the time, I don't know why. It's so dull and raining outside. It's going to rain all week, so it doesn't matter if I wait for a different day. It is just grey and dark, and yeah, winter is trudging forward. I'm not a fan of winter. In my house, during the mornings, all the sun is in the back. It's in the kitchen. I have nowhere to sit in the kitchen, otherwise I would film in there. I have a really big window in the kitchen and it's nice and bright in there, but there's literally nowhere to sit. And the sun doesn't come round to the front until like late afternoon, and then the kids are here, so it wouldn't happen. And then it's getting dark then anyway, isn't it? It's like getting dark at, what is it, 6 now? It's starting to get dark, so it is here anyway. So yeah, I'm sorry if it's a bit dark. I'll try and lighten it up in editing. I can see that corner is pitch black, but then it's normally a little bit dark, isn't it? So I'm hoping it's going to be okay. So I'm going to crack on because I've got loads to tell you about. So first up, I've got a finished object, but it's not finished. Well, it is, but it's the same as every week that I say to you, which is the Stitch on Sunday Blanket square. I finished the final square 40, went out 2 weeks ago, and that's it, all the squares are done. So we are now on with sewing it all up, which was the video I released last week, how, like different ways to sew it all together. And then I've got to do an edging. I'm not gonna lie, those of you who've joined in with the blanket, I'm really not looking forward to doing an edging. I just don't want to do it at all, but I will because I'm a good girl. But anyway, week 40 square. Week 40 square was called Fancy Diamonds, so I'll show you that. So it's in like a cranberry colour. It looks so dark on that screen, so I'm really hoping this is going to be okay. Yes, it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. I do actually have a cowl pattern in this stitch pattern that was released in Knit Now magazine a few years ago now, I think. So I need to write that up and get it re-released because the rights are back with me. But yes. Fancy Diamonds. So that was the final week, week 40. And then this week I've been sewing up my blanket. So that is literally the only finished object I've got to show you, even though it's not actually finished, it's a finished blanket square. because, so basically, I'm getting all again, aren't I? Basically, this week has been, this last fortnight actually has been really stressful. I've had a lot on. Oh, someone's coming and my dog is growling. There's nobody there. Snoring, growling, can't win. Yeah, so this last fortnight I've been really stressed out with the amount of knitting that I've had to do. I'm not really sure why it just all seems to have come at once, but I think I did say the last podcast that I was a little bit worried of how much knitting the MCAL was going to be and whether I'd be able to keep up. And I think that on top of everything else has kind of got I got really overwhelmed. I'm now starting to come out of the other side of that and feel a little bit more calmer. But last week I couldn't knit. I said to a few people I needed to become an octopus. I needed more hours in the day and more arms. I felt so overwhelmed with the sheer amount of stuff that I had to do. So there is a lot on the needles, but nothing finished. And you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to put this away. The first whip I'm going to show you is this blanket, because we've just been talking about it. So I can now show you that this is my pile of squares that I have left to sew together. There's a good chunk of squares there left to sew together. So yes, I started a couple of days ago sewing it all together. I did say in my sewing it together video how to sew it up, I said that I was going to do the crochet method because I preferred it and I preferred how it looked, and I did start doing that, and then I was doing it yesterday and I was just struggling so much with it. I just couldn't get the crochet hook to go through. I probably should have used a smaller hook. I don't think I've got one. I'm not a crocheter, so I have minimal hooks kicking about. And so I ended up switching to stitching. And I got quite far then once I did that. So this is what I've got so far. You can see it's all not going to make a very good blanket, but it will in the end. So you can see where I did like the demonstrations, I did them in a lighter yarn so you could see where I did the video. But then once I started stitching up, I started using the right colour and it went a lot better. So I basically, sorry, my eye's really itchy. Oh. So basically I did those together because it's the first row, and then the next ones I just did on top because I just thought if I go down on the top of them and then I'll just go right down each one without stopping. So the colours aren't always going to match up, but I'm not that bothered about that, it's the back. So yes, where are we? 3, and it's 8 long. So I'm just almost halfway. Another row and then I'm halfway. So that is that. That's how that is coming along. And then I've got this edging to do, which I'm absolutely dreading. Picking up stitches and working and edging all the way around the outside of that blanket because it's massive. But I will do these things to myself. I will take these things on. I've never knitted a blanket before. Never knitted a blanket before. Not one. Oh no, that's lies. I knitted a baby blanket for one of Caden's teachers when she'd just had a little girl, so I knitted her a baby blanket, but it was like a pram blanket. It was really small. I've never knitted a blanket for an actual adult. I have mentioned a few times, maybe he's not on the podcast, but I do say it to a good friend of mine, that I tend to I jump in and do things, and then halfway through I'm like, what did you do this for? That's kind of what happened with the blanket. I didn't realise how popular it would be. It got very, very popular very quickly, and I kind of felt really out of my depth and a little bit like, oh my god. And lots of people have thanked me for doing it, and I'm sure there's some of you watching this who were doing it and thinking, what, really? But yeah, really. I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, it's just squares, you just sew them together, it'll be fine. But yeah, I wish I'd thought it out a little bit better, and I didn't at all. I just jumped in. So we live and learn, but the problem is I never do. I'll do it again with something else. I'll jump into something and then be like, oh my god, what am I doing? Anyway, that's the first whip. The next whip is Little Dino Explorer by Jane Burns. So this was the cardigan that I've been making for Rowan, that has the little dinosaur spikes on his hood and down his back, and then there's a little tail, and it is super, super cute. But I have literally had no time to work on it. I originally had, why has that got a big crease? I originally had a sleeve knitted and I was decreasing too quickly on the sleeve and it was looking terrible. So I ripped it out, picked it back up and started again, and this was Friday night's knitting. I felt like I was getting nowhere, but I have done probably half the sleeve, but it just felt like, oh my god, I'm definitely on Sleeve Island. So I still haven't sewn this little section together. There's no second sleeve, there's no edging, there's no hood. Rowan keeps asking, is my cardigan done yet? And I'm like, oh, I really haven't had time to work on it at all. The only reason I did it on Friday night was because I was having a drink, and I thought I'd done some work on my Assisi shawl the week before, which is my usual Friday night knitting, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a sleeve on this because I really need to get it done for Rowan, because Rowan keeps asking, and I felt terrible. So yes, that's as far as I am with that. There's not even anything else to tell you about it. I'm on Sleeve Island, and I might be there for a couple of weeks yet, I think. It's having to hibernate a little bit because of the work that I've got on. But it'll get done because I've got Rowan badgering me anyway, so it will get done. Oh, flying through whips. The next whip is my CC shawl, which I've just mentioned. Did do a little bit of work on this the fortnight before. It's rammed in this bag now. I don't have any big project bags. This is about the size of my head. This is probably the biggest one I've got, and it is housing the Assisi shawl, and I've got 2 balls of willow and lark left in there, plus the ones that I'm working with, and then this huge thing. So it is a decent sized bag. It's just it's getting a bit tight in there. So I haven't done a lot at all. The last time we spoke I was here, so I've only done this, but it's got is it 204 stitches it has at this point. So it's growing, but it grows slow. It's garter stitch as well, so garter stitch doesn't grow in length as much as like stocking stitch does. If this was in stocking stitch it would be humongous. but I absolutely love it, and I'm still working away. But yeah, I just haven't done a lot since you last seen me. So I was at this stripe when you last seen me, so I've done a stripe and a tiny bit of the next one. In fact, it's only 2 rows of the next one. So yes, I've done 7 rows. Oh, honest. But it will be done because winter's coming, like I've just said. So, and I want, oh God, don't do that. And I want it to snuggle in because it's going to be cold and horrible. I don't like the winter. Don't like being cold. I like the winter when you're tucked up inside with a hot chocolate and the fire's on. Not that I have a fire. Oh God. The heating's on. But no, I like that part of winter. But I don't like being outside in the winter. It's just awful. Okay, whip. So I'm going to cross these off because I'll forget where I've been. So my next whip, I'm not sure how much of these I showed you last time. So this is in the Unicorn Yarn by Hobbii. I think I had the orange ones, didn't I? And the black ones, like the grey ones. And I had a little snippet of each one, just like the cuff. I think that's what you saw last time. And then I had to make a decision of which one I was going with. I did a vote in my Instagram stories. The majority went with black, which I was quite pleased about because it was my favourite. I wasn't that fussed. It was a bit out of my comfort zone, that orange. It's a little bit too bright. It's beautiful, and I'm sure I'll find something for it to go with. I might even do these in the orange, but for the time being, I really liked the black. So let me figure out. Okay. So this is where we are so far. I haven't done hardly anything on them, and I really need to get a shifty on. So this is, I'll show you this first. This is the yarn from Hobbii. So you can see it's like quite dark, it's got light greys in there, it's got reds and pinks, and it just reminded me of like splattered blood for Halloween. Obviously, if you were making a lovely jumper out of this that was nothing to do with Halloween, I think it's a beautiful colour. It's just that I had to look for something Halloweeny, and that's what it reminded me of. So I did socks, and I did like a spider theme. So let's see what you can see of this. Okay, so we've got a couple of spiders at the top here. And what I decided to do was have them as if these are the webs. So this is the back, and I'm trying to get most of them in the back because the back is obviously going to stop with the heel flap. So we've got a few spiders on the back, and then the front I'm going to drag them out a little bit further. So there's a lot of ribbon left because I'm just going to dangle a few spiders down here and there and have them going down the foot. I've got no rhyme or reason, I'm just randomly placing spiders whenever I see fit. I don't know whether I would release it as a pattern. I haven't really thought about it because I don't know how I would write that out. I'd maybe have to chart it, or just say randomly place a spider, but I think some people wouldn't like that. I don't know, would you like that if you had a pattern that said just put a spider where you want? I think you'd be a bit like, oh, I don't know. I think some people like, they like structure, don't they, and they like to be told exactly where. So I would probably have to figure that out. But because of the way I've done this one, my other one's not going to be the same. It's just going to have randomly placed spiders. So I'd have to think about that. And it's too late in the year for me to release it as a pattern anyway. It wasn't intended to be like that. It's just to demonstrate Hobbie's yarn. So it would be for next year anyway. So I've got a year to figure out what I need to do. I've just noticed that I've started a spider there and then not done anything about it. Oh dear. Started a spider and changed my mind, but they're only for me. Yes. So that is those. These are on 2.5mm needles. I don't know why. I don't know why I put them on 2.5. I think originally they had a bit of a cable in them, so I upped. I normally knit on a 2.25. That's a US 1. 2.5 is a US 2, sorry. I normally knit socks on a 2.25. I cast on 72 for me. But I think they had a bit of a cable in, so excuse me, I went up to 2.5 and then I decided against the cable but didn't change the size, so these might be a little bit too big for me anyway. But I've got a tickle. But yes, that is those. So that is unicorn yarn. It is lovely, and I definitely recommend it. There's some gorgeous colours in it. Oh dear me. Oh, right. So that is those. And then I have two more whips. One of them. Oh no. Oh. One of them is the MCAL, which I'm saving to last because we'll talk about it in a bit. You will cry for me, I think. Okay, so these. So I posted a little snippet of these a few weeks ago. I asked you guys what you thought of them, and everybody said please do it. So I am. So these are, they've got no name at the minute. These are just Colorwork socks. So I decided that this Colorwork is going to go all the way down the front. So this is the front, and then in the back for the foot, this section reverses, so it's more blue with the white dots. This is my peasant heel placement. I've only ever done heel flap and turn, heel flap and gusset, sorry, socks. I've never done any other, I don't think. No, I have done a different heel. I can't remember what the heel was though. But I decided, because these are Colourwork, I did try and do a heel flap and gusset and it just wasn't working out. And obviously carrying yarn across and your floats and everything. So I decided to do a peasant heel. I wasn't comfortable doing afterthought heel because I wasn't sure where to place it. So I decided, because I've never done it before, if I've done it before then yes, but I haven't. So I decided to do peasant heel. So this is my first time designing and working peasant heel. These are taking forever to knit. They're really, really slow going. It's lovely and it's enjoyable and it's really intuitive as well, to be fair. Like, you know where you are, you can read the pattern quite easily. But it's slow, it's really slow. They're on 2.75mm, which is a US 3. And yeah. The sock yarn itself is, I did share this before. So this is, oh, a tangled mess, that's what it is. This is, I don't know why there's a crochet hook. Yes, I do know why there's a crochet hook, because I made a mistake and I was not ripping it out, so I used the crochet hook to fix the mistake. So this is Enchanted Yarn, and oh, I'll sort that later. So we have Crystal Cove, focus, there we go. So Crystal Cove, which is absolutely lush, and I've got more of this, but this is just for you. It's like a creamy colour. And these are both Enchanted Yarns, and they're both BFL. I'm not sure of the mix. I think it's 80-20, or maybe it's 75-25. I'm not 100%, but it is sock yarn. I will know when I release the pattern because I will find out. But it's stunning, and Crystal Cove, the reason I wanted to flip the foot is because Crystal Cove is just so stunning that I wanted it to really show at least at some point. So yes, so that is those. Like I say, that's my heel placement, so I've got a whole foot to knit. I've got a good way to go yet, and then the toe. But I'm on it. It's just, yeah, I'm like, this is one of the things I was stressing over. I tell you what it is. Social media, people say this all the time. Social media is difficult. You feel pressured by social media to put up content all the time. And last week, I was knitting these and they were knitting really slowly. But I also had to sort out the blanket, which I couldn't put on social media. And I was doing this Stephen West shawl. And I felt really, I fell behind with the Stephen West shawl for a little bit, and I felt really like, I don't want to fall behind. Now I know it's a personal project, it's not a design, but I didn't want to fall behind because I don't want to, I'm really enjoying the mystery aspect of the entire thing, and I don't want to accidentally see somebody's shawl. I already did see part of it, I'll explain when I get to the shawl. And was like, oh, I didn't want to see that. So I want to keep up. And if that means it's going to stress me out a little bit, then it's only a month and then I'll be okay again. But yeah, I felt pressured by Instagram because I felt like I needed to put up content, but I didn't have anything. I put a picture of these up at a certain point, but then I was like, to be fair, there's nothing much else I can show about these at the minute. It's going to be this way until I get the healing and everything. So then I felt a bit more stressed about I've got nothing to show, and I ended up not posting anything. And it was last week I was a bit like, oh God, I'm not posting anything. And then this week I was just like, do you know what? So what? Like, just calm down. Calm down. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, how it affects your brain. It's like, it's a picture. If people don't see it, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter that much. So I've calmed down a bit this week, and I've also organised myself. And surprisingly, I actually have a post each day to put up till at least Thursday or Friday. Today's Tuesday. So yeah, I just need to calm down and just go with the flow. So if I'm quiet for a bit on social media, I'm not I'm not running off for the hills. I just need a little. I'm probably doing something that I can't show you. I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard. Oh, so yes. Oh, there's me little. That's me sketch of the chart. The socks. So technical, so professional. Yeah. I'm sure Ralph Lauren has pads all around his house with stupid pencil drawings of skirts and things. I don't know. Right. So we did Halloween socks and we did the Colorwork socks. So now it's on to this Stephen West shawl. Okay. I have had... Do you know what? Right. I've said before, I've never done the MCAL before. And I've had so much FOMO this time around that I'd had to get involved. I don't know whether he's promoted it differently, whether it's because I'm on YouTube more, I don't know, but it was just so in my face, whereas before I never even knew it was going on, and the fact that it's gone on for like 11 years or something, I had no idea. I was not really a massive Stephen West fan. His things are all a bit too wacky for me and everything, and so I kind of just was never interested. And then this year it come around and I was like, I really, that looks like so much fun, I really want to get involved. And I am so, oh, hello. I'm so glad that I did. Yeah, like, oh my God, it's so much fun. If you haven't done it before, I 100% that you get on board one year, because it is just, there's nothing else about that's the same. So, here we go. I'll get that out because I'm using that other thing. So you saw my colours. I stayed quite muted and sensible. I saw some amazing, I've seen some amazing colour combinations and everything. And I kind of feel a bit like, oh, I probably should have moved out of my comfort zone a little bit. But then as the shawl's starting to knit up, I'm a bit like, do you know what, I'm quite glad that I've stayed in my comfort zone, because it's mental. It's mental, but I love it. So if I saw this pattern, I am not gonna lie, if I saw Stephen West with this pattern, I'd be like, oh, I'm not knitting that. But now that I'm knitting it and it's in the colours that I find, that I'm happy with, I'm just, he's so clever, isn't he? Honest to God, like, he's brilliant. I can't, like, his brain, I want to be in that brain for 5 minutes just to have a root around, because it's insane in there, it's amazing. So, this is mine so far. So, if you do not want spoilers, please look away, because I'm about to show where I'm up to, and I am on clue 2. I'm partially through clue 2. So, yes, look away now. So, here we go. Okay, so I'll talk you through each bit. So we first had clue 1, I've got a little end sticking up there. Clue 1 was this little bit, just this little sun bit. And then we went on to clue 2, which was these ribbed sections. So it's a bit hard to see, but I have a blue in there, and then, so I'm hoping this blocks out a little bit so you can see these colours better, because at the minute you can't. Now, I made a mistake, which is why I've been so stressed, that I thought that was it. That was that was the first clue. I thought I just had to finish those wedges and that was it. And then I seen somebody's finished clue 1, and because I thought I just knew what it was going to look like, I'd done 2 wedges. I'd done this one and this one. And then I was like, well, I've only got those to do. And I also thought it only repeated once, that's right. I thought you only used each colour once, so it would stop about here. So I thought, well, I've only got another 3 wedges to do, 2 wedges to do, because the dark is the other colour. So I thought, I've got 2 wedges to do, I've got plenty of time to do that, that's fine. I don't know why I thought that, but this is what I was thinking. And then I seen someone's and it went up to these dark bits here. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so far behind. So then I started to knit like a lunatic. And then clue 2 came out and I still hadn't finished clue 1, and I was getting a little bit panicky. But now I'm happy now, because clue 3 comes out on Friday and I'm about halfway through, just short of halfway through clue 2. So I caught myself up, read the pattern a bit better and realised that clue 3 was these. So clue 3 is this. Hang on. So we get these elongated slip stitches with the striping behind. So good. And then came clue 4. If you've knitted this, you will know why I pulled the face for clue 4. Stephen West said this was his most favourite part. Stephen West is a lunatic. Like, my God. So clue 4 is these I-cords. Right, sorry, I'm banging the table. Get my face out the way. Can you see? I can't. Oh. So we get these I-cords. So you basically, you go along and you knit an I-cord. And then you carry on knitting. Okay? Now, this is where you're going to cry for me. So I knitted my I-cords right across this entire thing. Okay? And then it said in the pattern you should have 45, I think it says, 45 I-cords. And I counted mine, I had 23. And I was like, what have I done? So then I watched his video. I should have watched it first. I've been watching bits of the video, but I haven't been going too far ahead. And I think I just read that and I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to watch the video for that. I can do that. And yeah, I'd basically, you knit the I-cord, and it's a 3-stitch I-cord. So you knit the I-cord, 3 stitches, 3 stitches, 3 stitches over and over again. And then it says, and it should be, it's, the repeat is knit 3, slip 3, because you're knitting the 3, then you're slipping them back. Knit the 3, slip them back for the I-cord. But I read it as slip 3, knit 3. So then it said knit 4, which meant the 3 off the I-cord and then 1 stitch, and then you start the next I-cord. But I wasn't, I was knitting 4 in between and then starting the next I-cord. So I had to pull them all out and do it again. So I've knitted 60 odd I-cords, people. 60 odd. Was I glad for that last I-cord? My God, that was not fun. I'm sorry, that was not fun. So, got to the end of my cards, then clue 2 came out on Friday. So this was the first section of clue 2, which is these little gartery slip stitchy bits. And then, so that's clue, that's what are they called? Section, that's section 5. So section 5 was this, and then section 6 and 7 is to make these little nubbly bits, which are lots of fun. Can you see how he's so clever? I love it. So all hail Stephen West. It's amazing. So yes, I am having so much fun. I know for a fact when I've got it on that I'm going to be twiddling around with these blooming I-cords and but yes, so much fun. And I've seen a lot of light ones so far, people using their lighter colour as their colour B, this is. So their lighter colour as the surround for these, and I went with dark. I didn't see anybody else's, I just thought, well, I'm going to use dark for that. So yeah, mine is looking, I think it looks alright. So I was a little bit concerned about these two colours being too close together, but when I think they look okay. They're not too bad. When you see them together as a ball, they look quite close. Yeah. They actually don't look too bad now. I was really concerned and I was really umming and ahhing about swapping one out, but I just didn't have anything in my stash that would really go. So I just went with it, and I'm happy. It's okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. I can only imagine the insanity it's going to become, but yeah. And yeah, the back looks really cool. I've seen Emma on Potter and Bloom saying about she liked the back of hers better. And yeah, the back looks really cool. I love this in the back. It's amazing. But yeah. So there we go. That is my MCAL. So I only have a couple of things left to share with you. That's all the whips that I've got going on. And all the stress. Oh, I've left the pattern. So, acquisitions. Love Crafts had a little sale on on sock yarn, which is just so dangerous, isn't it? What are you doing that to me for? So I did a little bit of shopping, and I will show you what I got. So these are for some future designed socks that I have in mind. So I got 2 balls of this. What's it called again? Regia. Fading. I don't know. I'm butchering that. I know I am. I don't know if there is a colour on here. To be fair, there's not a lot of English on here. But if I find out the colourway of them, I will show you. But it's got all these little rainbow dots in there, so I thought that was kind of sweet. I got some Lara Grossa. Yeah, I'm not going to pronounce that. I'll let you see. Got some of that. This is like a pale grey. This is, where's my thing? So this is 80% wool and 20% polyamide. I didn't tell you that one, did I? Is it on there? %75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide in that one. And then I got some Debbie Bliss toast, which I've never even seen before. I didn't know she did this. I don't know if it's new or what. This is 65% wool, 25% polyamide and 10% cashmere. It's lovely and soft. So I got it in the rose colour, which is kind of peachy really. Yeah, I would say that's more peachy coloured. And silver, which speaks for itself. So yeah, that's Debbie Bliss toast. Toast, that's my accent for you, isn't it? Toast. There's not many people who pronounce toast like that. Toast. So that is it. And then I've had another little delivery of Hobbii. A while ago I released some socks called Arrowroot, and I wanted to use the same stitch pattern in a hat. So Hobbii, sorry, crinkling. Are you a podcaster if you don't crinkle at least once? So Hobbii sent me some yarn to make that hat in, and I've got 3 different colours to choose from. I'm only going to show you one ball of each because it's the same. Okay, so this is Tweed Delight, and it's they've had this yarn out for a while, but they've got new colourways. So these are new colourways. I haven't got all of them. There is so many colours. But this one is number 30. It's like a black, dark grey with white flecks in it and bits of grey. That's Tweed Delight. This one is like a coffee cream. Is that upside down? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Coffee cream with black and beige flecks. That's number 20, I think. Yes. And then this is number 28, and this is like a dusky with blue flecks, brown flecks. So yeah, they're a worsted weight yarn. 85% wool, 10% acrylic and 5% viscose. So I have these to make a hat. One of the colours will become the arrowroot hat. I might do a couple of versions maybe and use it. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, they're cute. Drawn to these two mostly. I'm so into blues and greys at the minute. Like my MCAL and my Assisi shawl are like blues and greys. Don't know what's going on. I won't crinkle again. And that is it. That's all the knitting that I have to show you. Which is quite a lot. I think this is going to be about an hour, isn't it? Life stuff. So I had my son's sleepover. Oh my god. Like, they ended up being 5 pre-teenaged boys here. One of them was a teenager, one of them was already 13. He was 14 the following day actually. And yeah, the next day was like a frat house minus beer bottles. It was just insane. The mess. Like, they had no sleep whatsoever. They woke me up at 3 AM and then they woke me up again at 6 AM. Just messing around, bouncing about. Every time one of them fell asleep, the others would like poke them in the nose with some sweets or something. Just yeah, they were wrecked. And my house was wrecked. My living room had, I don't know whether you get these anywhere other than the UK, but you get these, do you know what? There's one down here. Fox's Glacier Mints. Focus. There we go. Right, those things. I don't know if you get them anywhere else, but they're like they're a mint, and they're like a big solid mint, like a boiled sweet, but it's a mint. And once you suck them, they get really sticky. They were everywhere. They were stuck in everything. I think they'd found a bag of them, and then I think they were just sucking them and chucking them at each other. Honestly, I was not a happy bunny. My son swore that he must have been asleep while that was going on. I don't know if he was or not. They were stuck in the floor, they were stuck in the carpet, they were stuck in cushions, they were everywhere. I was prizing them off the floor with like little like wallpaper scraper, trying to get them up because they were stuck fast. So yes, I wasn't best pleased. That was the sleepover. The following day, the family went out for a meal for his birthday, and that was really lovely. And then this weekend, we've all been out for a meal again. This weekend, we went for a meal for my uncle's 75th birthday. So that was really lovely. And then, yeah, I'm hoping it just quietens down a bit, to be honest. We don't normally do anything on the weekends. The last two have been like, well, no, they haven't been that bad. But yeah, Caden's birthday was that bad. So I hope you're all well. And yeah, I didn't set up Discord, did I? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that ready for next podcast. I'll sort us out a Discord so we can all have a natter. And I now have the community function on my YouTube. So when I set it up, I'll announce it there if I can figure out how to use it. It popped up the other day for me and said that I was allowed to start using the community function. I thought you had to have 1,000 followers for that, but apparently not. So yeah, it popped up at 950, I think. So it must be there. So yes, so thank you all for subscribing. It's absolutely fantastic to have you all here. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my Instagram soon, hopefully soon. I need to get some stuff together because I hit 5,000 followers over there. So if you are not following me on Instagram, get yourselves over there so that you're ready for the giveaway. And if I ever hit 1,000 here, I might do another giveaway here, but I really need to get some stuff together first, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's it. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in 2 weeks.